Okay, I want to say hello again everybody, it's only me, Wushu Richard. Okay, in this video, okay, this is a little simple video I'm making, another truth debate video. I'm sitting here and I'm really hot, I'm just sweating, man. I tell you, it's summer here in China, okay, and I want to, before I begin this video, okay, I want to just say to anyone watching, thank you for your support always, okay. I want to say a quick thank you to Jason and Dan. Okay, that's Dan Bowen Television and Mountainous. Thanks guys for your comments on my videos. That meant a lot. Okay, I'm really thankful for that. I really am, for spending the time with me and watching me, whatever I'm doing in my videos. You know, I might be doing my training or talking or whatever it is. You know, whatever I put out. You know, as I say, I hope everybody enjoys my videos. Okay, so that was nice of you guys to leave comments there. I also want to say hello to all you guys. Okay, you know who you are, all my subscribers and bros. You know, okay. I'll say a quick hello. There's a dog barking outside. Damn, why doesn't it shut up? Because I'm trying to hear my voice. Got these headphones on here. Okay, look, I want to say hello to, yeah, of course, Demsley, okay, Chuck, okay, Beal, okay, all the crew, you know, Max, okay, bro, yeah, all you guys, okay, anyone who's watching, Uncle Cal, if you're watching, okay, sorry, I'm just trying to think of, Bo, okay, I'm trying to think of whoever else, but all of you guys, okay, all of you just mean so much to me, okay. And plus the people that have been leaving comments recently, anybody, okay. Let's get onto this video. I've got my headphones here. I'm doing it off the webcam and the microphone, so it's not the best quality. Plus I'm looking like a bum again. I need a shave, not too bad, but I've got my hair's like dirty and you know, I'm just sweating here, man. I'm sitting sweating. I've just got my shorts on here. I'm just sitting here working on animation and everything on here, okay. But look, let's get on to this talk, okay? This is truth debate, and this is another deep one, okay? We're talking about the universe again. We're talking about the origins of the universe. In the last video I made, I was like talking about that. I was like really getting deep on that. And I want everybody to understand, okay? I'm not some deep thinker, like, I'm not like always living in a... I'm not always going round every day in my head thinking about this stuff. You got to understand that, okay? I'm just trying to love life and enjoy it to the full. But as I say, I do get inspired by watching like different debates, but of different people who've got like different beliefs, and then you got like different like documentaries and stuff online. You know what I mean? And it's just interesting to hear people talking, and it's not like about what is or what isn't, or who's right or wrong. I mean, some of these debates I see, and people just almost getting into fights over their beliefs and that, and then you got wars over the world too, to do like religions and stuff too. I mean, you know, I'm not talking about all that. What I'm saying is like, I get quite interested by just listening to human beings, just how they communicate with each other, and it's all about doing it, clearing your mind up, you know, and being a better thinker, more logically, you know, and the best you can in your life, at least more healthy in terms of thinking logically, or at least, as I say, as logically as we can be as human beings, trying to develop our minds. And the ultimate thing, to be honest with you, the ultimate thing we're going to gain from this, I mean, some people might disagree. They might say, well, no, the ultimate thing you're going to get is going to heaven or whatever. But I'm just saying, okay, on Earth terms, okay, on our planet, the highest thing you're going to gain from this, you know, developing your brain, is a better level of survival in the real world. Are you with me on that one, guys? You know what I mean? Because that's all it is. You're just trying to be as clear as you can in your mind, and smart enough to help yourself in the physical, to go through life with less stress and get through it on the physical, right? Okay. We're going to get into this talk. Hold on one second. It's okay, I'm expecting someone back in a moment from the door. Okay, I was going to say that, yeah. I want to just say basically then, so yeah, it's like this, right? I was thinking earlier, right? I was watching my video back. You know, I always watch my videos back, and I suggest everybody does that too. You know, check your videos before you upload them too. You know, make sure it's good to do. Anyway, I'm sure most people do, but I'm just trying to say, you know, just check for any parts you want to edit about, you know, or you know, with any videos you make, like I do. I usually love to watch them back and hear my thoughts and hear if I expressed myself or how it sounded on the listener's end, you know what I mean? Because sometimes I'll be talking to a camera and then the next day I'll watch the video back and I'll think, oh, I missed something out there, or that come across a bit funnier, you know, and I try to, you know, explain myself as clear as possible just from my thoughts, and I do, you know, it's not total, if you understand me, in everything I say. It's always same old shit, yo. Same old imperfect shit. No, but what I'm trying to say, okay, is like this. Let's get back onto it then, okay. Earlier on, I was listening to my the other video back. I was watching it back a moment ago, okay, and I just had to stop the video straight away. I was listening to it in the headphones while I was like drawing up frames for a new animated show I'm making. I'm working on animation, but I was listening to my origins of the universe video in my headphones, listening to myself talking, and I had to stop it right there and then because I had a couple of different ideas coming to me. Then that's what's triggered this video I'm going to make here, and this should really get people thinking, okay. I'm making a very short video this, okay. Think of it like this, right? These are basically things that I've covered in the other video. I'm gonna mention 2 points here. One, okay, it's like this. When you're talking about the whole universe and beyond, I'll say it that way because I think to say studying the universe, if you want to say, you know, what do we know about the universe, to me that sounds like saying the universe is everything. It's like, what do we know that then? We can't even talk about everything and nothing as though they are things. It's like anything we know, and basically that is included within everything and nothing. We could even say, you know, the yin and yang, yin yang, okay, even that, all we know about that basically could be our own interpretation of it. You know what I mean? Up, down, hot, cold, left, right, and that's like all based on our human perception as such. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like if you were a ball, I'm saying, and you weren't the shape you are now, with your arm, one arm on the left, one arm on the right, and you can look left and you can look right, turning your head. Now, if you was a ball, I'm not saying a ball with eyes on the front of it, I'm saying a ball, and all of your feeling, all of your balance, you know, it was like an eye almost that can see in all directions, feel in all directions, and also in and out too, and infinitely, then you wouldn't have any perception of up, down, left, right. You see what I'm trying to say? The directions. And let's say everything, our feeling and all of our senses, all of our human senses were all like that too, the same, where there was no, you could feel hot or cold or whatever. That might sound crazy, me saying that. It sounds almost incomprehensible. It sounds like there's no way to imagine that in our mind. And you know why? Because we've never imagined anything like that before. Because we are the form we are, and we only can think in the form we are in as human beings. That's why other animals, a bird, a cat could never think like a dog, for example, you know what I mean? We see the world in different ways. So I'm saying, when you're talking about, that's what they say. In one of my favourite books, as I say, the Tao Te Ching. It's called Tao Te Ching. Okay, about yin and yang, basically yin and yang. Okay, talking about it says the eternal Tao, as in the way, basically, is the true one. It means everything and nothing and all of the opposites and everything. Okay, you see what I'm saying? He said all the truth, the very truth of everything, basically, he says, can't be uttered in words through the mouth. He said that is fake. That's not the true Tao, basically the way, or it, all of it, you know, everything and nothing included, of time and space and everything, matter and everything, you know. You know, it's like when you hear these things about antimatter, matter, dark matter, dark, you know, all this, you know what I'm saying? The universe is like amazing when you think of like black holes and can suck light into it and all the rest of it, but it's like, this is our perspective. That's our perspective of it. You know what I mean? It's the same way as like a cat may have no understanding of a typhoon, you know, a hurricane, like we do, a whirlwind. But if a cat was sucked up into one, it would be sucked up into something that is just incomprehensible to it. No matter how hard it thinks, it would never imagine that. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, rather than trying to be a god-like thinker, you can only be a human being thinking with the heart into the highest level, until you start saying it's impossible. Until you start saying there's more possibilities out there, and there's things that we can't imagine, then, and we may never imagine. You know, it's like not trying to be you know, lacking confidence, but in humanity. But I'm just trying to say, unless you can admit that, you're never gonna get anywhere within your life, in anyone's life, you know. So let's go back to what I was saying. It's quite deep. So as you can see, like the world, then let's say the world, you know, this is kind of neutral, but it's like it's got gravity. See, in the universe, it's all things work different, but they work the same kind of. It's like you see the energy bringing things closer and further out, waves like gravity bringing things closer to it, other forces blowing other things away, and you see that magnets and the energy of the waves in space, and this, you know, if you wanted to study that in different terms, you could probably, in a basic way, you could also compare this to like water in the sea. Some water flowing in one direction might push something another way, whereas some is sucking in the other way, and it's kind of flowing around, you know, freely. But what I'm trying to say is, like, it's the same thing though. When one part of that is floating one way, it can't be floating the other way, and then we go back to the truths again of the yin and yang, you know, again, yin yang. So we're talking about fucking asshole, no, so it's asshole. But we're talking, you know, and it's just, you know, what are we talking about? This is the thing as human beings. So I'm going to get on to the point now. I'm going to say, you know, we're thinking in a human terms always. That's all we're thinking in a human way of thinking. But it's like, I mean, even our contemplating any form of religious beliefs of, you know, gods, heavens and whatever, unless you've truly had, you know, an enlightenment by God or a religious whatever, you know. But let's imagine another thing, okay? Let's imagine another thing for 1 second before I get onto the 2 points, okay? Yeah. It's always like more before you get to it, you know. It's like, you know what I mean, always, even if you go straight to it, you know, you're always overlooking something, whether it be back, left, right, in, out, top, bottom or in front, you know, or whatever order, you know, all of them or none of them. But what I'm trying to say, what the fuck was I just trying to say to you? Sorry man, my mind's gonna blow up. I've forgotten what the fuck I was just saying. Hold on guys, I'm just trying to get back to the start, man. You know, get back to the finish line. It depends on what way you're going through the thing, you know. So what the fuck was I just saying? Yeah, it's like it just depends on how you're looking. Yeah, if you were, let's say for example, if all humans, you know, were visited by a god every day. I'm just saying, for example, I'm not saying I'm not religious, I'm just trying to say, yeah, if God was to come down or in the sky and say, hi guys, you know, I hope you have a wonderful day today, and we could just, like, any time we just look up, hi God, yeah, is it going to rain? And he said, yeah, it's going to rain in a minute, put your umbrella up, you know. And some people will say, well, basically you can be more in tune and things like this, and different religions might even say, well, this is kind of ridiculous thinking, because, you know, It's just not possible. When you understand God and the heavens and all this, then none of this stuff I'm talking about is relevant. But I'm just saying, right, if you could imagine, right, for example, argument for communication's sake, imagine there was, or for this video we're just talking about this, imagine if, you know, people could just get in contact with God anytime, and humans and the godly forces above were always in contact, just always talking to each other, you know, and that, and it was just like that. Then would we still, you know, this is a question. What about everything else? Wouldn't you have still in your mind, you know, you're speaking to God one minute, but in the next minute you're still thinking what else could there be? You know what I mean? Possibilities, I'm saying. When you talk about the word if and possibilities and what could be, when you just don't know what else there is, you might even ask God and say, is there anything else? He might say, I don't know. Do you know, is there anything? Or this or that. You know, or he might tell you, you know, and you know straight away. But I'm just trying to say, you know what I mean? That's another thing. I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is, we're not talking about God or earth here or space or any of that, or science or believing or non-believing and this or that. I'm not even saying that. All I'm saying, right, as a human being now, how relevant are our thoughts to what really is? How relevant are a cat's thoughts to what really is in the universe? And you say, well, we're much more advanced to a fucking cat, Richard. You know, although we might not be able to jump so high, but we're more advanced than an animal, Richard. You know, what do I mean? You know, that's kind of ridiculous. So we've been degrading ourselves. We've been put on this earth by the heavenly forces and that, have been blessed, and I'm being like this. But it's not like that at all. I'm saying, right, being with the word if and possibilities, that's what I'm talking about. I'm saying we're much more advanced than some animals, like cats, any animals we know, okay? But I'm just saying that if you look at it another way, we're not much advanced compared to it. When you're talking about the whole galaxy, the whole universe and space and time, or even a god-like thing, you know what I mean? A cat is more closer to us than we would be to a god in terms of advancedness. And there's still people talking, though, about aliens and UFOs and all the rest of it, and what kind of technology would they have? Must be amazing, you know, and things like this. Time travel and machines and whatever we come up with in our minds, it's all just our visions, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if, like, back in the day, 1960s or whatever, the TV shows, you know, talking about like sci-fi, or like the old Doctor Who or whatever, you know, old, for example, black and white, you know, or like to now, what we imagine, the difference in our thinking when it comes to the future and science fiction and all this, you know, is like some of the stuff is like it's very similar in terms of it always being machines or robots and this or that, but some of it is like our thoughts have become more advanced because we know more about the universe, or so we think. I mean, I hear some people speaking about the universe as though they know it, and it's just fucking ridiculous, really. Because it's like two things. How much do people really know about the whole universe? Does it add up to the smallest percentage? I mean, it's just like that. We don't know anything, really. And the second thing is, it doesn't matter if we would know the whole thing, because the only way we can know it is from a human's terms too. And when you know it all, then what is there? Can't you say, what if there's more? This is the amazing thing when we talk about the yin and the yang, see everything and nothing, and space, distance, time, and matter, and all of that. You know, anything that can be measured. Can you imagine anything that can't be measured? It's like nothing can't be measured, and nothing. It's like, can you imagine anything or nothing that can or can't be measured by in any kind of force we can understand? And it's only in the forces we understand too, be it time, space, weight, you know, whatever it be, speed, movement through time is the same thing, gravity, mass. I'm not the most high up there knowledgeable person when it comes to science terms and that. You know, I'm just trying to say, you know, all of that, you know, heat, gravitational mass. I don't know what, you know what I mean. It's all, but it's only our perception. We talk about the universe as though we know it. Oh, it's waves of energy. It's light. We know light, sound, movement, you know, and all this, and speed, gravity. Oh, the gravitational pull of a black hole, you know, things like this. This is just fucking ridiculous, really, because that's just our language explaining that. We'd have a clue what it really it was beyond that. You break up gravity and start studying that. Start studying you study the things you can't see. It's almost like studying a prison. You're inside a prison cell your whole life and you think that's the world. You would never imagine that what's behind the walls, you know what I mean? It's like almost like imagining we're studying this whole universe, but not knowing there's like a multiverse. Again, the same thing in a parallel universe or so. That it's like behind this invisible wall. You could just like go there straight away, but it's like you just can't get to it. It's like a dream world. It's like a world you go to when you go to your dreams, and or your spirit leaves and goes to another dream world. But when you wake up, you're not there. There's no way to get back to it. It's like the Matrix almost, you know, things like this, you know, and you jack back in, and you get back into the real world again, you know, all that. So it's really deep, and there's a lot to it, and there's like so much more, and you start to wonder, what is it all, and what am I studying every day? And you think, well, because it's like so hard to do, you don't want to give up, but it's like you might as well just focus on your life then and make it better the best you can. But studying science and stuff in terms of like medicine or technology, ways we can help ourselves as human beings to live a better life and survive better, of course that's important, to live a better life. Now going back to two more points I want to mention, okay, just 2 points then, I'm just going to bring up quickly, and it's real deep shit, I know. Just quickly, right, it's like this. I was thinking, yeah, we know what we know, but it's like we're affecting the world around us. Like when you walk on a sandy beach, you know, whatever, you'll leave footprints, but you study the footprints, don't you? It might be someone else's footprints might be deeper than yours, you know, displacing again, you know, grains of sand, how many per step, you know what I'm trying to say, you know. But let's give you another example, right? And how that actual tread was too. You might tread with your whole foot, or you might tread with just the heel or just the toes, you know. So leaving another, you might, you know. So it's like, what the fuck? You know, it's the same with everything we do. Our thoughts, and then someone thinks up an idea and speaks something, and someone says that and hears that, and they start talking about that. But actually, you're studying nothing but just your own opinions about what someone's just said, and it's got nothing to do with reality. So let's go back to what I'm saying. Someone's just saying it's the same as the footprints, but with just ideas. Well, that's like something, but it's like nothing still. As I always say, everything's nothing, nothing is everything, and yin and yang floating into each other. And now I'm speaking to you now, and it's so funny because it's like I'm speaking to you guys, and I know there's guys out there thinking the same old thing that I've heard before. Oh, you're such a deep thinker, man. You're thinking all this shit, man. You're probably on crack. Or that you think I'm thinking this every day. I'm not thinking about this every day. I'm just clearing my mind. You know what I mean? I'll live a normal life like most people. I'm trying to say, you know. But let me get back to what I was saying, though. Yeah. Thanks, guys. There's people arguing downstairs on the block. I can hear, and that probably drinking and whatever the fuck like it was last night. Let's get back to what I'm saying though. Yeah. The 2 points, I'm going to get onto these 2 points now, okay? These 2 points here. One point is like this. Our effect, is what I'm trying to say, our effect on the world around us and the universe around us, basically, is sometimes detectable, sometimes undetectable, by just this natural detection, just being aware of that. But anyway, for example, yeah, here, for example, is, can you imagine if you were to cut a piece of cheese? Let's say if you had a piece of cheese, right, a block of cheese, and you said, I want to cut this in half, and I mean you really cut that directly in the middle, slice it down the middle. This cheese, you know the weight of this cheese, you cut it down the middle, and then you measure the weight. You weigh it. You can say it complicatedly or simply. Depends how people listen to that shit. But you get the two halves of the cheese block that you've really measured well. You've really cut it straight down the middle. Exactly. It's the most precise ruler you can imagine, and you measure that on the most precise weighing apparatus ever, weighing scale machine ever, okay, and you put it there, and it's the most sensitive one, it's the most sensitive, exact, precise, the world's most advanced, humans' most advanced technology weighing machine and cutting machine. So you have the exact 2 slices of this block of cheese. Okay, it's a man-made object, okay, fair enough, this cheese, but it's made from substances around us, so that's still part of nature, yeah? Even if it's something else, even if it's a piece of wood, even if it's a rock, that's still part of nature, right? Doesn't matter if it's just how the thing was formed by the hands putting it together, or if it was actually formed over years of nature, like a stone, yeah? Or it could be a stone from outer space. That's still part of nature, a part of something. You get what I'm trying to say, yeah? So anyway, let's just use this piece of cheese for an example. We cut this piece of cheese down the middle, exactly, using the most advanced technology. In fact, we've gone years into the future and to get this machine from them, and they've said thank you. You know, we've said thank you. They're going to let us use it. Okay, we've come back, so our human friends in the future, you know, have given us the most advanced machine, and we bring it back. Okay, even if you go to the end of time, you know, to get or the last surviving humans on planet Earth, you know, whatever, you go there, you get the most advanced possible. Well, that's even kind of like impossible to say that, because you don't know there's no limit to what's possible, as I keep fucking saying, you know. But when it comes to human beings, it's a matter of time, you know, how long a human's going to live on this earth. But you know, it's not about the length of time in a day. It's still what you do, and I know that in the day. But let's go back. Okay, we have this block of cheese. Okay, we got this block of cheese. You can't get too nitty gritty, right? But sometimes you've got to go for details. You can't ignore it all. That's why there's people in prison these days, when people missing out the details. You know what I'm saying? But then there's people adding details all the time too, and miscommunicating each other and themselves, and fucking wars going on in the world, and greed and bullshit, and what's true and what's not. But let's go back to what I'm saying. For a hungry man, 2 hungry people cutting this piece of cheese in half. Got a block of cheese, right? You got a block of cheese, you cut it directly in the middle, precisely. Then you get the 2 precisely even halves of size and weight, okay, of these blocks of cheese, and you weigh that on a machine. And the machine is the most precise, exact weighing machine ever. It's so sensitive. Now this machine, by the way, I forgot if I mentioned to tell you, this machine, it's only imaginary, don't worry, but for example, realistically here speaking, this machine was created by human beings, that's right. Also, we've got the forces of gravity too in the world, okay? Some planets have a higher power gravity, you know, than others, okay, too, and different forces and different things out in the universe that we can't imagine. Other forces too, not only gravity. Anything is possible, don't forget. So what the fuck are we studying? It's like when you study something, you want to know it in full, but you're never going to get to know it in its entirety, so we can only study on the focus on the bits and learn as much as we can. You know, so we have this piece of cheese, right? It's cut precisely in the middle, and we think it is, anyway, we think it is, and we put this piece of cheese, these 2 halves of the piece of cheese cut in half, put them on the weighing machine, 2 weighing machines, okay, one on this one and one on this, or let's say on 2 sides, right? No, one machine, and you want to see which is heavier, and of course, depending on which day it is, I'm only joking. No, what happens is you put the 2 halves on the machine, and they're even, because we as a human species, we've done it. We've got the technology to cut it right down the middle, to find that balance, and to weigh it evenly. Now, I forgot, there's only one fucking problem, one catch. The machine was made by human beings, and we're only using our senses to perceive what we're seeing, what we're witnessing anyway. We don't even know how much of that is true or not. You know, feeling, hearing, eyes, seeing, listening, and whatever. But, you know, so I'm trying to say. So we got that there. So what we're witnessing, though, let's trust our senses for 1 second. What's the fucking reason? I don't know. But we'll start trusting our senses for the reason. Trusting our senses, trusting everybody's senses, and that we can all see. Because if we all can see, we must be right. Yeah. No, everybody's senses are superhuman, but no, we're all here. And these two halves of the block of cheese are on this machine, and it weighs that they are 50-50, exactly the same weight. Now, let's say then, I don't care if it's the machine created by a human being to test the weight of that with the gravitational pull of the Earth. When it could, if we were on another planet, or the moon maybe, it might be a bit different. And the moon's not made of cheese, is it, by the way? But anyway, let's just get on the now. As far as we can perceive it, so don't start eating moon dust, y'all. But we're there, okay? And we're there, and it could be the machine, or it could be our hands. We could hold it. Let's say if you had the most precise hands in the world, and you can feel the weight exactly. Oh, they feel about the same. No, that's not good enough. We go back to our machine, what human beings created, okay, and it really is good technology too. And the machine says that they're 50-50, exactly the same weight, okay? This is the first point I'm on. Well, that machine's not totally right with its senses, is it? You've got to understand. There might be a machine that's actually more precise than that one, that's not been created yet, or is, or, you know what I'm trying to say, it's the force of something. You see what I'm trying to say? It's like, it's very sensitive, the machine is very sensitive, but it's not the most sensitive it could be, if you understand what I'm saying. If that machine was at an infinite, super high level of sensitivity, maybe that machine would just collapse on itself. Someone breathes in the room and it just collapses on itself. Or it has such a powerful force. When you're not, because that's the thing, we're not talking about machines and contraptions. Really, you're talking about energy wave, just like a magnet would be. It's not the actual magnet, but let's say the energy within that, the spirit of that thing. You see what I'm saying? It's like the pushing away and coming in. It's like, sometimes when you have you might rub your hair. I'm not going to do mine because it's kind of greasy. I need a fucking shower, but I'm just saying, can you imagine if you were to rub your hair with your hands, or put your hands together, you get some static on your hands, be touching paper or your clothes, and you get static electricity on your hand. I'm sure you've had it before, where if you put some small pieces of paper on the table, very small bits of paper or paper clips, when we were young in school, kids, we used to do little magic tricks and stuff, but actually it's the static, and you can put your hand there, and there's a little small wave of energy in your hand, the static, and suddenly all the paper sticks to your hand, or you're able to push, and without actually touching the paper just moves away just ever so slightly because you have some static in your hands. It's not magic, right? It's just a force. So in our body we always have this heat, we're always generating some level of electricity and waves anyway. Some people believe in telekinetic powers. I'm not talking about that here, but for example, similar thing. On a very, very light level, you see an electricity and waves throughout the body. You might believe in chi or ki or whatever, but I'm just saying. So what I'm saying is if you were able, if you're talking about, it doesn't matter if it's gravity, whatever direction, up, down, in, out, whatever direction. I'm saying, when you're talking about total sensitivity, hold on. Yeah, I'm listening for the door. When you're talking about total sensitivity, I mean having a really, really high level of sensitivity, that's the only way you're going to be able to test things for example, the weight of that block of cheese. So when we got that block of cheese there on the machine, the two weight blocks of cheese on the machine, they might measure the same size, they might measure the same weight, but hold on one second. Yeah, when you're talking about the two blocks of cheese, or the two halves of the block of cheese on the machine, they might weigh the same, or according to the measurement on this very precise machine, they might measure up the same size and everything, but you're not going down to the absolute smallest, are you? As in the crumbs of this thing. There might be very, very there is actually a difference. They're not exactly the same. Let's say, for example, by the crumbs of this piece of cheese, or the dust or whatever, of it, the powder is just very slightly heavier. One half is heavier than the other, or bigger or smaller. It's we oversee that, we don't see that, and it's undetectable. It's not undetected, it goes undetected by our senses and the machine, the actual weighing machine and the cutting machine. Yeah, right. Sorry guys, sorry everybody, I had to stop the video there. Okay, so I'm back again. Yeah, I want to say, yeah, basically what I'm saying though is, yeah, so people sometimes I feel are too complicated in the way they're too how can I say, they're too how can I say, confident, I should say, in what they already know and trust only what they know. And plus all we really have is the science, but basically science is like the deepest study of like the world around us in what we know, right, in the universe and everything. But it's like that is only there's all that basically is, all knowledge ultimately is anyway, is just what our perception of, how can I say, of everything, and we call that information, we call that knowledge, we call that understanding of and science and all the rest of it. But actually it's just all that is in our head. So going back to the reality there, if you had that block of cheese, let's say for example, right, again, you had that block of cheese, do you see what I'm saying? It's cut into two halves, it's measured exactly down the middle, and the two halves are like the same size as we see it, even with the most best technology we've got or whatever, like the things we've got nowadays, telescopes and everything, for looking out into the stars. But I'm just saying, we've got a machine, it's measuring the weight of this thing very precisely and everything. But it's like this machine is only as good as it is. You see what I'm saying? And that's as good as anything is. It's like you can't measure every single little crumb of the cheese. It still one half might be ever so slightly heavier than the other half, or lighter than the other half. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to go too much into detail here about explaining other things too, where like some things may have a certain energy to the thing. Let's say within it, like electricity or static. We said before, something was giving it another kind of effect on the thing, or even on the machine or whatever, or going into other areas, saying like it could be a piece of stone, let's say, a piece of rock or ice or anything, where one part of that might be more heavier than the other part, so when you turn it at another angle it might be more heavier or lighter, seemingly the same way as you might cup your hand, or you might be taking steps with your feet on the ground and cupping your feet so there's like a hollow kind of space between, so you're like stepping on the edges, like what we do in, like for example, in ninja training, ninjutsu, training, where you're like doing silent stealth walking tactics and things, and how to walk silently and displace your bodily weight and onto which parts of your feet, so that you control your to be silent, very light-footed on the angles when you're like walking on like floorboards and things. Like just walk around the edges of the room, don't step on parts that are going to make a sound, or basically put pressure in certain areas that we hear the sounds through the waves in the air as sound. But anyway, it doesn't matter, you see, it doesn't matter what it is, light reflecting, light, sound, static, electric, weight, the actual mass of the thing. It's just one thing put together with another thing, because you've got natural forces of Earth and gravity and everything, without going into other areas such as like electricity and stuff, like different machinery and stuff. But just saying, this normal weight machine, let's say, you can go to the highest advanced one, or it could be a very simple one. I know this video may be quite boring, guys, sorry, I'm just giving you an example here to open your mind, yeah. The machine can't necessarily detect, might not be able to necessarily detect the exact weight of the two halves of the bit of cheese, or whatever you're trying to. It could be someone's words even. How can you measure the weight of that, or the truth in that? You see what I'm trying to say? We only can use what we want to use. It's the same way as when you want to study someone's mind, how they think. You still can't do that. You can only work of what they say, and they could be bullshitting you anyway. You know, why someone's smiling or why someone's doing something a certain way. You know, you say you want to know somebody's mind, study what someone says, you know, or watch what somebody does. That person might be very aware or unaware to whatever different, you know, percentages or amounts, you know, too. And and you might never know which one that is. So until you know which one that is, how are you going to study it? There's no way you can know. So it's like you don't really know someone's mind. It's the same kind of thing. You don't really know. There's other forces out there in the universe, I'm saying, things that you just can't imagine. It's more than likely, right? More than just life on another planet, or where life came from, or is going to be, or came from, or is evolving from, or, you know, or just something just appearing like that, like a big bang, or you time teleporting or whatever, you know. It doesn't, you know what I mean? And the parallel universes, time travel, all of that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah? So there's things out there beyond saying, you know, aliens and then what kind of technology they've got and all the rest of that, you see what I'm saying? It's like all of this, everything and nothing, and beyond that. That's why I say, you know, the universe and beyond. It's like everything and nothing. You know, what can you get more than that, you know? And yin and yang, you know, yin yang again, right? What beyond that, even beyond that, if you say that's just a concept, beyond even that, then you're talking about, fuck me, you can't go beyond that. There's nothing more than that. There's nothing more or less than that. That's everything. The rules of everything. That's the rules of everything. But, you know, you start saying understanding and no understanding. But that's not even that. That's just your mind and your brain cells working, and that's that. It's animals or human beings, you know, and different. No, we've already talked about. But what I'm saying is like, you see what I mean? Yeah. What I'm saying is like, you can always say, well, what if, you know, possible. It's possible there's more, it's possible there's less. Even more and less, these words are just how we think as human beings. We see, you know, 2 trees and we think, oh, that's more, you know, than 1 tree, you know. These are numbers. We confusing ourselves, a constant cycle of confusion. We think we're learning, actually we're learning nothing. And you might say, well, that's bullshit, Richard, you know, of course 2 is more than 1, yeah? And it's like, oh yeah, okay, let's do quantum physics and all this, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's still our own perception. Until we get over the fact that we're human beings, we can only study in a human point of view. We're studying for our own survival and understanding of that for our own benefits, but, you know, ultimately, that's all there is, you know. That's all it is, really. That's, you know. Until that, we're not going to get anywhere. So yeah, going back to the basics thing again. Yeah. So you got these, you know, something, anything it could be. You cut it in half, 2 halves. Yeah. I'm saying a block of cheese, though. For example, a block of cheese. Yeah. One. They both look the same. Weight and size and weight. Yeah. Everything. But it's like, it might be ever so slightly different, you know, slightly more heavier because it's got the crumbs or whatever. Now, going back to the sensitivity, the only way you would be able to, through technology that's created by human beings, or via yourself just being, you know, you having superpowers where you're in your body, and so whatever, you know, I'm saying through sensitivity in general, this word, sensitivity in general, be that the sensitivity of gravity, I'm not saying wind, because we understand how that works, but in water and the elements, I'm talking about the things we can't see, the forces in the universe, gravitational pulls and other energies, you know, and gravity. Let's say all of that, the sensitivity within your body. People talk about chi, you know, electricity in your body, static waves, things. Again, people talk about people seeing auroras. Was it auras? Yeah, auras. Yeah, and you can go into deep things such as psychic thing. I'm not going to go into detail here. Okay, I'm just saying, for example, you know, and people talk about telekinetic powers and things, but I'm just saying, right, from the energy within you, whatever's true or not, I'm saying the true things, be the energy in your body or the technology that a human being has actually created. It's all the same thing. If you're feeling the sensitivity and the weight and measurement, through a machine or a computer or a robot, basically that is supposed to be a tool. That's supposed to be, when you make a computer, you're really making it like the mind of a human being, right? The same. You want the computer to be able to see, think, and whatever, or a robot to do like the jobs like human beings do, right? So it's just a tool. It's like we're trying to build another limb for ourselves. So let's forget that a minute. Sometimes some help us in our lives, especially computers, especially cars and aeroplanes, boats, trains, whatever, yeah, helicopters, yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, it's all part of the everything, and all of this is stuff we use in our human world. Monkeys and cats and dogs don't use these things. They don't know, do they? You know what I mean? They only rely on their senses. Whereas we are different because we've got our minds and we can build buildings and cities and cars and computers and things like that. But what I'm saying is, ultimately, it's all the truth is the truth. The gravity and that, the nature, the world, the universe, and that's what it is, right? Time and space and all that, right? But what I'm trying to say is, coming back to us, right, on a human term, as human beings living in this world, using our technology or using our body and that, just forget all that technology. Just use this us. Even if you really enhance, even if you really, 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 really are at such, how can I say, so focused, you've got a special ability compared to other people. You really are in tune with your sensitivity, and you can, just like you'd make a machine to weigh a block of cheese, let's say, for example. So let's say, right, the only way to have more of an effect on anything, or feel the effect of something, as in the weight of that block of cheese, or to be able to move. You know what I mean? You make a robotic arm with strength so it can lift something heavier than a human being, yeah. Or you make how can I say, like I mentioned before, the static in the fingers, even like pushing a piece of paper without touching it, things like that, or it could be wind or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Directly or non-directly. Or feeling the weight of something actually literally in your hand, or feeling the electronic static, measuring that around, measuring the static, measuring the energy within a magnet, for example. So I'm saying, it doesn't matter. It's all the same thing, like the body and the spirit, the magnet and the metal, and then the thing within it. I'm saying the whole thing, right? The only way I'm saying that you can measure, okay. I'm gonna say measure the measure basically is energy. I'm talking about energy, and the effect of energy, right, is by doing something. And do you know what that is? Is by upping the level. It's just more and more and more. If you understand what I'm saying, it's very hard for me to say in language here, speaking to you. It's very hard for me to explain in human language. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying about the so you've got to be a great, you've got great thinkers in the world. Like I'm saying again, like the bloody Lao Tzu again, the Dao De Jing, the same thing. See, I'm talking to you now, and I can't find the best example to explain these things. He said that, he said the true things, you can't express in words. You go so deep, and then you get to the point where you're a human being. You can't express those things. You can't say it in words. It is what it is. And there's always more that you can't even imagine. You can't imagine to imagine even. So anyway, basically what I'm saying, yeah. Who fucking knows, man? Wait, get a cup of tea, yo. No, but what I'm saying is that basically it's like to enhance your, you've got to enhance your sensitivity, and the more you enhance your sensitivity, be it the feeling in or the force out, you can talk about it, like I've mentioned in all these ways I've mentioned already. That's the only way you're going to get more. So can you imagine, right, if all you had to do was just move your hand just ever so slightly, like bloody Superman, and just knock a building down. Like my cartoon, isn't it? Like a bloody Invincible Martial Madman. You know, when he just moves his hand and or just touches something and the thing just goes flying or smashes down. You know, you see what I'm trying to say? Like I mentioned to you before, with your hand, with the static, and you put. When I was a young boy, when I was in school, we used to play games like that, with a teacher. I remember saying like magic or whatever, like little bits of paper, where you'd like, you know, little tiny bits of paper or something. I've forgotten where it was or something. And it was like, you know, you just put your hand, you move your hand, and all the paper sticks to your hand, you know, or it moves away because of the force of the static. I can't remember exactly how it works, but you know. So what I'm trying to say is, you see, imagine if you had that effect on everything. Imagine if you know, we talk about gravitational pulls of planets, and the same with your body. If your energy is just basic energy, all you are is like the magnet. You are just a blob of energy within this mass, this body. So if you could just move, you know, not without even touching something, and just things were just flying out of the way or just fall into pieces and disintegrating right in front of you, that's the level you'd be talking about. Because mass wouldn't mean anything. Mass is like much weaker than any forces of energy like that out there in the galaxy. This might sound stupid, but you see what I'm trying to say to you. So what I'm trying to say is, when human beings are studying, you know, the universe and all that, rocks, you know, and what's out there, and you know, what's smaller or bigger than an atom, and all this, and when you're talking about measuring time, space, you know, matter, antimatter, whatever forces we think we understand, sound, this or that. This brings me on to the second point now. I said there's 2 points, right? The second point number 2, is exactly this. This is what I want to say now in this video, okay? The last thing I want to say is, this is how simple people are. You see, they think they're studying it, they're studying the thing, and they never think, you know, there could be more. You know what I'm trying to say? There could be more than you already know. That's what it basically is. So I'm just doing this video, okay, to just continue from the last video with a few points. Okay, I've been talking for a long time. I don't know how. It's been like, you know, nearly 1 hour now. It's a long video here now. I've not covered a lot more than the other video, okay, Origins of the Universe. But you see what I'm trying to say, though, yeah. So with us human beings trying to cut things up, be it a block of cheese or be it the smallest particle in a beam of light or smaller than that, all we're doing is using our technology, what we've created, be it as advanced or the other way, less advanced than it could be, or you know, or with our human body. That's all we're doing at the end of the day. And you know, have we got those resources? You know, this is the question on people's minds when it comes to sci-fi and sci-fi science, you know, and all that. Are we ever going to be able to create, say, machines and things like that, time travel and parallel universes? People believe it's possible, things like this, but to be honest, we're only using the energy around us and the forces of, you know, the natural resources, I should say, around us. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is, people don't understand anything more than what they understand, what they know already, or put another way is what they think they understand already. You see, haven't you go back and study? You look in science over the years, and you see how there's been many changes and big drastic changes to in people's thinking and beliefs. You know, and if you want to go further back, things like the world too being like a ball or being flat and things like this. You know what I mean? And they say, yeah, that's called learning, Richard. Yeah, Richard, it's just learning. Of course it's learning, I know it's learning, but what I mean is, you know what I mean, we're learning from a human point of view, like I'm saying, you know? You can only think how you think as a human being. A fish can only think how a fish thinks. A dog can only think how a dog thinks. It can't understand the world like a human, right? Or like a bird or a cat or anything, right? A monkey. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say to you. So until we, you know, it's like our measurements of anything, in all kinds of measurement, okay, time, space, weight, mass, all that, is like, you know, and the distance, how big is the galaxy, and things like that, you know, how far does it go on? These questions, when you think about it, any question could end up adding up to bullshit. Shit, really, you know, bullshit, right? Because in the end of the day, right, we're trying to see how accurate our measurements are getting, when those measurements aren't even accurate themselves. They aren't even. We don't even understand what the word measurement means. Let's imagine we just suddenly got flipped over. We got flipped off by, you know, we got a quick from an almighty God or somebody in the universe. You know, if someone or an alien suddenly told us, no, you know, you can't measure anything because all measurements are useless. There is nothing that can be measured or can be. You know what I mean? If that happened, then we would be all fucked up, wouldn't we? Are we living in a dream or what? You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, there's always more out there. Is what I'm saying. People in this. That's the second point. So point number 2, as I say. Yeah. People now in the world are looking up in space, you know, to see what kind of rocks are out there, what kind of planets. You know, some planets are like all water. Some of them are only gas. You say, was it solid, liquid, gas? Yeah, all the basic. We're using our science understanding, you know. Then we're going on to other things. Oh, quantum physics or mechanics. Was it dark matter? You know, you got black holes, and you got what do you call it? Dwarf stars. I don't know what they call it. You know, the different things were coming up with different names and things. How to measure waves of energy and blah blah blah. And it's just like, what's beyond all of that? If you were to take an infinite number of human understandings, let's say, of studying of the whole universe as a book of the universe, what happens when you say, okay, what's outside of this book? You know what I'm trying to say, yeah? So that's what I'm going to finish on this video now by saying, right, it's 1 hour, this talk, okay? Thank you again for listening. Thank you, everybody. I want to say thank you again. I think I said you both right, Dan and Jason. Thank you two, for your comments, okay? And everybody who's been, you know, watching my videos, plus the kung fu videos too, you know, and the training and everything, okay? There's been more cartoons soon, okay? More animations on the other channels and other fun stuff too coming up, okay? But you know, next time you're measuring something, think about how precise it was, because you know what I mean. If you're talking in terms of energy, it can destroy your fucking ass. No, it can take you up and away. You know, if you're talking about in terms of real sensitivity, be it, you know what I'm saying, be it going out or in, you know what I'm saying, in terms of all your human senses, if you can imagine it in any direction, when it's like a sphere, it's so big, it's just infinitely big and infinitely small too at the same time, exploding and imploding at the same time, whatever. Where time is irrelevant, space is irrelevant, all measurements are irrelevant, all weight or whatever, all logic as it comes is irrelevant. So I'm talking about bullshit now, but being a possibility too, where things just change. Where in science, where they talk about 2 atoms or particles being in the same place at the same time and things like this being possible, and then also the question mark that's always in your mind: what if? And then, you know, right or wrong. So, and the other people, what they're thinking. So, you see what I'm saying? It's just like, where do you start? You know what I mean? It's like looking for a needle in a haystack when you're not even sure what a haystack is and what a needle is, when it's right there in front of you. So, well, what is it? Is it that on it? It's just right there in front of you, or it is maybe not there in front of you. If the guy speaks it in Spanish to you and you can't speak Spanish, for example, you see what I'm saying? It's very, very interesting when you think about it. You know, some people will say, fuck, you know, excuse my language, but I say some people will say, you know, you think all that shit every day, you're talking all this rubbish every day, you know, and all this, or you're like, you're so deep, you know, in your mind. It doesn't matter who you are, religious, you know, there's wars in the world now about religion, you know. There's some people who talk about gods all day, you know, be it any religion, you know, out there. There's people that talk about science all day. There's people that are just atheist all day, or theist, or believer, non-believer, or whatever all day. There's people that just know everything or nearly everything about everything, 99%, in one language. You know what I mean? There's people that have been to the moon and think they know the whole universe. You know, there's probably people somewhere in the universe, somewhere else, you know, talking about the same things. But I'm talking about beyond, you know, it's like beyond. So what I'm really saying, okay, in these videos, what I'm really saying is I'll be better to shut up. Yeah, I'll be better to shut the fuck up, stop talking this shit, and you too, everybody out there who's just talking that, you don't need to give yourself a headache. I'm making this one video, or 2 videos now, these 2 talk, to be saying, you know, there's so much out there to think about. You don't need to be complicating yourself too much or being simple. Just enjoy your life. That's what it really is about, and keep it healthy, innit? Yeah. But on the other side, also though, it is also very healthy. It's a very good thing to be a deep thinker sometimes. We do need to think about things sometimes more and ask more questions, is what I'm saying. Be logical and communicate with each other rather than just fighting, you know, or rather than just believing something is or isn't, or, you know, I'm wrong, you're right, or I'm right, you're wrong, or he's wrong or right, or blah, blah, or what colour's the fucking t-shirt, you know, what colours, you know, I mean, the bloody, you know, the moon on the, you know, I'm just saying, any question, you know what I mean? Alright, so I'm just going to finish this one now, yeah, thank you again. Today is fucking, March, April, May, June, yeah, today is June the 1st, 2014, so, pinch punch, first of the month. Good luck, yeah. Just take care. If anybody, if you have any questions, okay, about the videos, what I've been doing, like, the training, for example, the kung fu and that in martial arts, you know, just let me know, okay. But I'm happy to share whatever I can, and I will do what I can. It's very hot now here in China, I must say. So when you're out and about, okay. Another thing I'll say before I go, everybody, okay, before I go this time, I'll say, keep your temper down, yeah. You know, in this weather, the weather sometimes can really be a thing, you know. Sometimes it can, don't be out for too long in the heat, you know, I mean, bring a water with you, you know, the basics. If you're too hot, obviously, right, same thing, right. Some people, they just get so hot, and when you're stressed out, you can get angry and start having an argument or get into a fight with somebody. You might be at work, you might be with your family, you might be somewhere, you know, and the heat sometimes gets people pissed off, you know. You get people, you know what I mean, angry and whatever, and anything. You could be really hot, you could get sick, have a car crash or whatever, you know what I mean. So take care. The same as I tell you in the winter. Like in the winter time, I say keep cool in the heat and warm in the winter. Yeah, keep warm in the winter and cool in the heat. I've been saying that for eight years now on these videos. Yeah, train hard and stay safe. And just take care of yourself and your loved ones. Don't get into arguments or fights that aren't necessarily. Defend yourself if you need to, but fighting's always wrong, as I say. You know, there's a little boy. You've seen the little boy in the video, yeah. The little boy who's come in here. We do a little bit of training, you know, the Wing Chun, you know, Yung Chun train a little bit here, and a little bit basic. My training, you know. And I said to him, you know, the same thing, but he was like, you know, he said that he's recently, you know, he was fighting with a boy in the school, you know, and he said he was so proud, you know, he was really happy with himself because he defended himself against a bully using some techniques and that, you know. But the thing is, like, it doesn't matter if you're children or adults, you know. You've got to remember, martial arts, it can help anyone, but everybody out there, you know, you've got to remember the same thing. Fighting is wrong, you know. And if someone's got a knife or something or a gun, or, you know, get away quickly. If you can run away, you know, you're not the hero. You just go and fight straight up. You know, if you can get away safely, like me, I've had things before happen to me in England, you know, and I've told you before, you know, but it's like, you know, it doesn't matter where you are. I'm saying you could be anywhere. I'm in China now, but I'm just saying anywhere you are, you know, anywhere, anytime. Just be aware. Yeah, you're man or woman, of your safety, and these things are more important. You see what I'm saying? These things are more important than all the bullshit, all the stupid stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. just if you can get away, you know, call the police or whatever, you know. But remember, you know, exercise is important. Everybody can keep healthy and fit. You know, do some exercise at home. If you don't have, you know, a lot of money to go to a school or a gym or whatever it might be, or some sports, you know, or whatever it might be, you know, you can keep healthy. You've got one body, one mind. You know, do some basic exercise. I do every morning, basic stretching. You know, you've seen me on the videos, and yeah, and simple techniques though, martial arts. You know, there's a lot of information. Even if you can't go to a school or find a good teacher, there's still like lots of videos online you can learn from, and their books and things. Plus my videos also I like to share a little bit with you, everybody. But don't follow blindly. Just take all information and knowledge in martial arts or in anything you study, and just use it to help yourself. And don't force your, you know, beliefs and opinions on other people. I'd say I don't have any opinions or, you know what I mean, or lessons as such to force on people. I just know what I think, and I know that there's always a big question mark. There's always two sides, possible, you know, other possibilities to it. Okay, so just be wise within yourself, help yourself, you know, and just stay safe. Okay, take care. Thank you again, guys. Okay, it's a long video again. I don't know when I will make another video on these topics, because I say the truth debate, these philosophy type videos that I'm doing here, like these deep talks are quite deep, so it depends on what subjects or what questions come up, or when I'm influenced or when I'm inspired and motivated to make another one. Okay, because these deep talks are, you know, I just get them when I get an idea, as I say. Okay, I don't what my goal is not to be talking on here like that, you know what I mean, about making hundreds of videos about this stuff. I'm saying the universe and all this, you know, I mean philosophy. It's just to say, open your mind, think more yourself, and don't waste time in your life, even if you're talking to a camera, you know what I mean. If you're with a friend or with your family or whoever, you know, just enjoy the happy time, you know. Go out, you're going shopping together, or you're going to go to a park, or whatever you're doing, you know, or you're at home, or if you've got time to get more sleep, do that. You know, if you're busy with work and everything, you know what I mean, yeah, or got time to just, you know, do anything you like to do, and just enjoy your time. That's most important, isn't it, right? Anyway, I would like to hear you talking sometimes about your ideas on life, and also I'm enjoying all of your videos you do, everybody. Okay, training and everything. Thank you very much. Say goodbye. Train hard and stay safe. Thanks.